in the studio with me to try to make me understand how this works and how you can maximize your returns in this environment is Loic Potjes. He's Managing Director, Disruptive Leap. Thank you for coming in, Loic.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So we are all having these discussions about how to, one, be part of the fourth industrial revolution and also be able to make money and make sure that we are not left behind in Africa. Let's begin by what's required to make that business fourth industrial revolution ready.
Yes, so people love to start looking at their businesses, and what I always suggest is maybe to start first looking at markets. Because if you want to create a bit of a blue sky space and escape a little bit of the commodity-based environment, you want to look at the market and problems, frictions, problems to solve. And I always advise companies to look at it backwards. First start from the problem, find the solution, and then start working out how can you answer these needs inside of your space, geography, industry. And a couple of tips to do that is that the technology has never been that available and at a fraction of the cost of what it used to be. So there's something to be said about not having to invest the billions of dollars that one thought we should do in order to be part of that fourth industrial revolution, but to find ways to get outside of the fortress of an existing company, outside of the capability, the employees, and see and check there are smart and agile ways, fluid ways to go and find out someone else's core strength and partner with the world and partner with tech providers and partner into quick, agile solutions that you can start scaling in your existing geographies, in your existing markets, with what you know. So something to be said about leapfrogging. No need to reinvent the wheel.
So partnerships and being smart about who you're going to be partnering with.
Absolutely. And there's a great spot to be as fast seconds. There's someone spending a lot of time and energy and investment into creating new tech, new spaces. And there's something about being a fast follower and embracing these techs in order to create value proposals into what we know in Africa, which might look different as a value proposition and a need than what it looks like in Turkey or Mexico or the US or elsewhere.
So in other words, you're saying there's no need to break your back trying to be like the guys who are disrupting, who are coming up with all these kinds of inventions and innovations, but you can quickly partner with the right person and also piggyback, if you like, off the back of those who are already doing this and doing it right. Within the African context, though, do you see spaces where perhaps businesses can innovate and perhaps become hubs of innovation so we are able to compete not just by running after those who have already done it, by being at the forefront of the change?
Yes, I see basically needs and solutions in every single industry, because I think it's more about a mindset. As a practical example, we've created a tool which we've called the Future Wired Brain. And it's a set of uncomplicated personality traits, like making sense out of chaos, conceptual thinking, problem solving, and so on and so forth. So a good way to start is to see within your company, within your industry, who are the people who are naturally wired to see space and opportunities. And you can check that for a couple of dollars, and it doesn't have to be complicated.
Even within your own company, I suppose.
Even within your, if you run an organization that has several hundreds of thousands of people, surely you have hidden potential. So that's the right way to approach it. The wrong way would be to start dragging your existing management teams over a road that they might be ill-wired to take. So we're all great at something, but we're not great, all of us, at everything.
Absolutely. Sometimes we are not in the right place at the right time, and we're not recognized, as you say, for the things that are perhaps latent within us, but not known by management.
Absolutely. So there's something to be said about simplifying things as well. If you start from a market problem friction, and
what is that?
So it's analyzing
market problem fiction.
A friction is something inefficient. Like if you find inefficiencies, like calling to a call center, answering 10 questions for half an hour to then be able, that's inefficient. There's got to be a better way. Then once you've identified problems, people think, oh my God, I have to create a solution and it's got to be complicated because tech is complicated and not. In this fast-moving world, the strong assumption is that there's 90% chance that your solution has been already created somewhere else.
Right.
And you can find it off the shelf.
Okay.
And it's about getting out of your organization, finding, scripting your solution right, getting out there, pilot project, and so there's something about agility, fluidity.
Yeah. In Africa, of course, in addition to the market friction that you're talking about and the need to be agile, as you say, there's also the issue of regulation. And often you hear businesses complaining about the regulations that we have within our markets. Suggestions on how to get around those while still innovating?
Yes, I would say a couple of recommendations. First, it doesn't always have, within the existing regulation frameworks, you have to take it part of your problem and equation and seeing where does that constrain you and where does that enable you. So I'm suggesting that one should start focusing. If you identify 15 problems or inefficiencies in the market, start with those where you don't need to have a change of legislation to get started. That's one recommendation.
Right.
A second one would be, if you're unsure that you would fit within an existing regulation or not, then you could check early with the ombudsman, with the regulator, to check whether your new angle fits within or without. You don't want to start your innovation initiative by changing the law of a country. It's a bit complex to do.
It is very complex, and I can tell you though that sometimes it does work, because there's one man in Zimbabwe who did that. Strive Masiwa, who today is a billionaire, started by innovating, and the government said it can't be done. And then he said it can't be done, we must change the law. And you know what happened?
He got there.
He got there. He changed the law, and today look at where he is. But
I suppose it hasn't been done in a day or in a week.
No, it's taken years and legal fines and millions of rands of litigation.
And I'm strongly suggesting that you have a way to find innovation initiatives without having to go through the years of pain.
Sure.
To keep it simple, there's some value there.
Sometimes